what we're doing is a little bit unconventional, but it's the easiest and the most fun we have found to shift in consciousness and to really truly walk the path that we're all on. And when it comes to these cycles, sometimes you're sort of invited into the game. You know, that's when you meet someone that just tells you, oh, hey, you should come, there's this thing. And you're like, a lot of things from the past came up there. I wonder what can be behind that. Because usually the past gets projected onto what the opportunity is. So you have to look at the past, which, or at the very least, it comes up for you to like, screw the past, let's go for gold. But sometimes that that needs a bit more attention. That's why we are running these AI sessions and this ascension program. That's why we are doing it in 28-day sprints, and there are channelings every single day, because sometimes the body needs certain adjustments when you are taking the bait, let's say. It's Gaia. It's Gaia baiting you with her invitation to play a game so that you can see more of yourself. That's what we did. We saw more of ourselves, and then based on, and that can have different cycles and timelines. But once you get the lesson, and that's why it's so good to just milk all of the information that you could. And the more aware you are of your space, the more you can pick up. This is a practice. You have to just keep practicing. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it. You just have to practice every single day. And you have to do something every single day, or so, now it just feels off because we've developed the practice and the habit, and it helps us so much. We can feel in these loops that everyone is probably familiar a little bit, sometimes different phases, but it's the same thing type of thing. And once you go through these cycles with people, and you get to either you get to share the body's truth. If you share the body's truth, you leveled up. It doesn't matter if these beings are in your life again or not. It's your practice with yourself. It's your muscle with your own doing. But you have to go in the right direction. You have to actually catch that resonance from the body. This is much more a calibration program to the holistic perspective. It has many uses, many applications. It can help with so many different things just in pure frequency. But once you get to comprehend what we're doing, maybe you don't comprehend it completely, but you've at least started a little bit, and you start to like do these, you start to see maybe when Gaia is sort of presenting you with these invitations to, now, this is your time to speak up, to share your voice. Here, I orchestrated this whole event for you. Go. And if you coil down, that's on you. Nothing to be ashamed of. But that is, once you start to recognize them, okay, at the very least you can like recognize them and go, I keep fucking up here. What is it? What can I do? Right? Because once you get it, you've unlocked the next thing. It is literal. We want to sort of really get it across. It's literal. We are experiencing this literally. This balance between giving to the body and transcending and moving through things with the body. This was a gift for us. But we felt like we were a little bit swimming in the dualistic perspective again. Because that's what it feels like when you are in process. And most beings are in process and they never get out of it. You're not supposed to be in process for your entire life. You're supposed to learn how your body processes, how you process through these things so that you see what? The energetic truth. It's the only thing that would liberate a body from this going over again, going over it again. It just keeps it in that. And you have to just do the right things according to people, according to how you feel. And once you do that, and the next scale, you get rewarded with clarity. Sometimes you have to ask for it, you know? But you get rewarded when you do the right steps. Then it's like the teachers, which are Jesus and the higher beings that is guiding me, they are just like, yeah, he got it. You know, we can just help him a little bit along so then he doesn't have to wait for this whole... That happens also. I feel sometimes they just, oh, I tripped up, fuck. Come on, can you help me? And then they sort of lift me up in frequency. And I can feel that. We can feel that. That happened today. But it's also a manifestation, right? But it's a prayer. It's a prayer. You can also call it. Or you can call it a manifestation. But once you have trained your perspective to only see this perspective, only see the body's perspective, it might be very boring, but you will live a wonderful, wonderful life in frequency. And we promise you it won't be boring. It just might seem boring to the beings that are habitual into drama or trauma or those types of things, you see? It's all about seeing the truth of what happened, where you tripped up, where the other being tripped up with their body. With their, you could have done better there. I know I could have done better there. You know, it's like completely both sides. See both sides. But don't be like only over there. What is that? Only over there? What's that? One is pointing there, one is pointing up to the heavens, and 3 back to yourself. It's about yourself. It's always about the self. Whatever you do this to, where is it? What is it? What am I not doing? What am I not saying? What am I, guides, help me. And once you reach that next level, this is the game. Continuously. And when you get really good at this, you shift in frequency really, 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 really fast. Because you're in alignment with what's truly important, which is, first of all, the now. This is why meditation is so good, to practice the now. But also learning how to close these almost seems like mental games sometimes. The allure of certain things can be lots of different things. But once you have done the right steps, according to what your body felt, according to the information that you felt, you're on to the next level. And no action is an action in consciousness. It's just harder and harder to change that. It's just a track that you just keep going. And it's like at some point you gotta just wiggle that stuff out and do something different. Just jump to another track. If you find yourself going to the same places, just do something different. Just for the love of God, just snap out of it. Because when you just do the same thing, you're not going to change. It's good to break it up so that you keep it interesting for the body. Go out. We notice that we need to go out a little bit more. We can't just lock ourselves in here, just working. Especially now, it's starting to get hotter. We'll see. Right? It's important to have some cooling strategies. Lots of cold fruits, lots of coconut water, lots of seawater, all in balance. It's all about balance with everything. Also the fun part. If you're too serious, guaranteed you're gonna sort of just, your perspective at some level is gonna feel like it's completely fine, but you've just suddenly drifted into some other mode. When you recognize, it's like, where did I go up? There, okay. And then you strategize. What am I gonna do next time? Okay, I can do this. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. Okay. We can do this. Okay, buddy. You and your body. Once you get what emotions are, you're all psychics. You just haven't learned how to use your body properly. That's really it. As a soul. Not being too lost in this dualistic game. But not playing either. It's about this balance with everything. And once you know why you're here, your function here, we found our function. That's why our game is totally different from most people. Our game is that anyone that comes into our experience needs to be an upliftment to our well-being. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Because we are an upliftment to ourself with support from Jeshua, Archangel Michael, Metatron. The entire team is supporting this. Because once you know how it operates, of course you want support. Like what? You're not here alone. But you have to align to that. Align to that frequency of trust, that frequency of well-being, the frequency of upliftment. It has a frequency. It's not just words. You can't just say a mantra. You got to do the actions too that supports who you are desiring to be, who you want to be. And if something is not of your liking, you change it. That's what we're doing every single day. Every single day, there is something that gets corrected. Every single day. And sometimes the worst days are the best days because it's just such a big shift. That's usually what happens. And what can happen is that once you go deeper and deeper into this, I mean, we've done this for what? I think we're on wave 8 or 7. 8 or 7. But we have done this every single day, continuously now. For at the very least 8 or 7 times We have done a few before. So like say 8 times 28, right? It's starting to be, we are building momentum somewhere. And that is what ascension is. When you have the sight to see, you can walk the path. The one that has the sight to see is smart of you to recognize, so that you're not following someone that is leading you astray, following the sheep off the cliff. Recognize the truth. It is actually very important to your soul's development and to what type of life you will experience here. Because once you have this main balance, this polar opposite intact, in balance, the knower and the feeler, and you practice that and the holistic perspective in your consciousness, because the holistic perspective in your consciousness, which is what the channelings are, guiding my consciousness to the holistic consciousness with whatever stage that I go through, which we go through a lot of different things. As many of the full access membership students will testify to that are listening to this. We are receiving a lot of the beings that can see, they're like, wow, it's something else. Once you realize, you will be like, obviously, of course, that makes perfect sense, eventually. Sometimes, when it comes to your personal stuff, maybe it might take a little bit before you recognize your own stuff. Because we haven't been taught the truth about who we are and what we do and what true help is to another human being. We've been conditioned to tell, we have been kids trying to play energy. That's what most people have been. And so this is the adulting of that, which means that it has to do with how you behave. You know? It has to do with the way that you think. It has to do with what you entertain. Everything matters. It has to do with what you're actually doing. And it's about measuring everything. It's not about excluding anything. It's about measuring everything and then making decisions. Feeling deeply what the body feels like. Not just, I don't even want to listen. We are just gonna do this because I say so. All of these attitude-y things, they are distortions. They're not producing harmony in your field if you express them. This is what many beings, if they just truly got how important this is, they truly would practice every day with us, because it has everything to do with your heart being open to how much you receive, what beauty you get to express through your human. It's that pure balance in both directions. So we also almost forgot to go for our desires, which is to sing, to use our voice more, to hum, to make music, to just get creative, you know, just that. And we are so excited because we are releasing I think our first track, we have released before, but this is a completely new thing. And it's one of these dares that you just have to do it to stay in balance. We have wanted to do that. We have played around with that. We have grooved, and we really love when the initial channeling starts. That's what we really like. When the initial channeling comes through, even if it's, or maybe especially when it's through music, because there is a conglomeration of frequencies and of power that we are creating with these sounds. And some of them have a lot of power, deep rooted power, because you have to get power to use it. So you have to first start with the root. That's why our first we feel like sharing. I don't know why, because when we hit publish, it takes, I don't know, a couple of weeks or months before it's on Spotify. So I don't know when this is going to be out, but this is another dare that we are working on these 28 days that we almost completely forgotten, and we are in the last week, and so we're now, hey, we said that we're going to deliver 2, we're going to at the very least deliver 1. So this is us like course correcting, so that it's not only about work. You see, it's really important with these things too, because it is honoring our voice. It is infusing a platform that we can express ourselves, which there's energy that wants to be birthed in this area. It's interesting what we are feeling. There is like a volcano wants to like just erupt, but we have to create the avenue where that is socially acceptable, so that we don't just go freaking nuts. You know? And this is how you channel your energy. You see? You have to have an outlet. If you're gonna build more light, you have to have an outlet. Otherwise, your wires can go off and spike and all kinds of stuff. That's why it's good to get control over your mind and body. Like, people are talking about mind-body connection and they think it's about meditation or yoga. That's a part of it, but it's much more the every single day. What are you doing every single day to move the needle forward in your life? That is ascension. You pushing forward. You seeing what God has for you. And for that, you need to be in balance. If you want to get started to shift with us, there is a link below. You can also get started for free. And we highly encourage all of you that have started and dropped off, because we see you. We see you. Right now is a very good time to set a mental, okay, when it starts day 1 again, because it's starting in a couple of days. When it starts day 1 again, I'm going to start from day 1 of this one. This is where I'm at. Okay? Promise? This is our nudge to you to grow in consciousness. And we are building a whole system here to assist you to grow in consciousness. We'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.